I think that's one of the reasons why Clinton won. You know, Clinton had this. No matter what.
I'll tell you, when we first had this conversation about the letters, you were right. And
you know, I was just playing it up, and these guys are like, "What? It has a boost!" You know, I mean, over 25-year-old guys.
Poor job of organizing, poor job of educating, too.
Yeah.
You are listening to the DP Show
with Dimmy and Phil.
Well, hi everybody. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can see me okay. And very, very sad. You know, we were supposed to have Dimitri with us tonight, but he couldn't make it. So it's just me tonight. I'm very, very sorry. I'm so sorry that you're going to have to deal with just me tonight. No sound? Really, Larry? No. See, Pam is saying it's good. Dennis is saying it's good. Hi, Phil. Hi, Pam. Hi, Ricky. Hi, Janine. Tom, how you doing? Robert. And tell ST that I miss him. Tell him I miss him and I need to see him. Hi, Janine. So I'm kidding. Let's bring him in. Let's see how he's doing, everybody. Here he is. I'm running the buttons. I'm pushing the buttons tonight. Okay, I'm pushing the buttons. So that's why I'm in this beautiful high definition that you're seeing right now. And now instead, Dimitri will be in the low resolution.
And
we will all make fun of his internet now.
By the way, let me say, was that a sexy intro or what? I didn't hear anything about the intro. You know, I worked so hard. I did that the day before I was in the accident.
You know, it's really interesting that you said that because I was going to ask you how you made the intro and how you made the outro too. But then we started talking about the potential of a new Aries. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, I was just, I remember you telling me that we don't have an outro, you know, for it. So I was making the outro, and then I found this other video clip where you can actually put audio clips from the videos. I was like, yeah. So I started fucking around with it for a couple hours, and actually it turned out pretty well. But yeah, I'm here and I'm alive. But let me tell you something.
It's all you, buddy. The show is yours.
I'm sorry, I got so much to say, but
I'm sure you do.
First of all, you and Larry on the platform group have been doing a couple of live shows the past couple of weeks. It's been really good. You know, I think Larry's getting to become a natural. So I had this brilliant idea.
Larry's a disaster in front of the camera. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. He's
I had this brilliant idea.
He can't make a coil as soon as that camera goes on.
We start a new show. It's called Senior Vapes with Phil and Larry.
Wait a second.
It's going to be a big hit, but instead of YouTube, it broadcasts on AARP. You can get your demographic.
The AARP vape show. You're not that far off, brother. Come on, man.
I still got a few years. So listen, first of all, I got to thank you and I mean, just the outpour of love and support and the messages. I got some messages from, all over the world. And, you know, being in this community for the last 10 years, I know there's a lot of people that love us and look up to us, and we've become friends over the years. But at some point I was just overwhelmed, and you know how I am. I'm very anal about not responding to somebody, and it just became too, because I can't. I have use of my finger. I can't text because I can't hold anything, so I have to use speech to text, or I use the audio button to reply. And I try to reply to everybody because I'm just I'm just that type of person. When I get a message, I reply immediately. That's just the way that I am. I'm anal. That's why I'm on my phone constantly when we're out and you're bitching about it. But I got messages from people that don't like me, people that I haven't heard from in years. It was just the love and support and prayers from everybody was just overwhelming. And of course, you know, I know that you were very, very worried, and you being in contact with my wife constantly, and so I appreciate it. I really do, and I really think that, you know, the humor and the ball busting that we have has really helped me. And I think it helps in these situations where you do have a tragic event or near tragic event like I did. It really, I mean, it really helps. I remember one time you sent me a message, you're like, is it too soon for the shirt? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was laughing my ass off when that shirt came out. I've been saving it to wear it to the doctor Thursday. I'm going Thursday to the doctor to take out the stitches so I can show it off, right? So so I really, really appreciate it. That's all.
I didn't even I didn't know if it was too soon for the shirt, and I should have known better. I mean, you know, the way we are, right? But I mean, it was a really serious thing too, right? It was a really, and it could have been a lot worse. Thank God it is what it is, right?
I could have been dead. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you could have been dead. Yeah, I mean, let's admit it, right? So like I'm thinking about this. I had plans like sending you like something every day. Now you didn't tell everybody like everything you got from me. You didn't take photos of everything.
Yeah. Let me tell my wife to bring. I actually planned to have that as a prop here, but I'm going to tell my wife to bring it down now. Hold on just a second, because I have to use text to speech.
Okay, and I'm very surprised that you didn't put any photos of the
from the bedroom. Yeah.
There's Scott. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Scott. Hey, Steve.
I'm very surprised too that you didn't post an image of the address label that I sent.
I've got some plans. As soon as I get it, it's very hard for me to use my hands. So this hand here is just completely, I can't do anything with it. But this is really the only hand I have, and I have my phone propped up on a holder on a little table that I have next to it, and I'm able to use my text to speech. But I've got plans. Don't worry. I'll tell you what. If that was you, the moment I realized you're gonna be okay, I would have started busting your balls. So don't worry about it.
Well, I mean, you were busting my. I mean, I know it was serious, but you were busting my balls when we were in France, and when I was in the emergency room, and when I was screaming my ass off, you were still busting my balls. What's that movement right there? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
This is what I got from you. Right. This is. When I got it, I was like, what the hell is this? But this here, okay, I don't know if people can see it very good. But this here, what you do is you put the toilet paper here in this little slot. I can't even put it in. All right, so you put the toilet paper there in this slot right here, okay? You jam it in there. Yeah. And then what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use this to wipe your ass. You can't reach around.
You get underneath there really good.
And then when you're done, you're supposed to like turn around and then push this like that with air, and it pops it out into the bathroom. Which, listen, the bathroom, if I would have used this, the bathroom would look like like an explosion happened in this. But what's really funny about this is the directions that came with it. I don't know if you knew this. Oh my God. Let me just read this for you. This. By the way, I mean, it looks, I'm not going to lie to you. It looks like a big vibrator.
It does kind of look like one. Yeah.
Right. So this is the Long Reach Comfort Wiper. The Long Reach Comfort Wiper is specially designed to clean the vaginal and rectal area.
Oh, okay, and rectal.
After toilet use. Okay. But I was like, when I read it, I was like, vaginal? What is going on over here? I mean, I can see it for vaginal. It's probably going to be easier.
Sure.
Right? Instead of, trying to reach in the back.
Sure.
But let me get into the instructions a little bit.
It does look a little like a vibrator.
Pull around 24 inches of toilet paper, around 6 sheets. Fold it in half. Hold the long reach tissue wiper, tuck one end of the toilet paper into the oval recess. Wrap the toilet paper all around the top part of the wiper, then tuck the end of the toilet paper on the same recess. The toilet paper will be held in place for cleaning. It is recommended to be used between the legs from front to back.
Yeah, like that. You go down this way, yeah.
I just know.
Yeah, you're supposed to go down this way. Yeah, you didn't know you were doing it the wrong way, man.
Hold on. The soiled paper is ejected by pushing the button at the end of the long reach tissue.
It's a very handy feature. Very handy feature there.
Here's some warnings. For external use only.
Oh, that ruins it right there. Go on.
I mean, why do you need to put that direct?
Well, look at the shape of it, man.
Possibly shove this up my ass. I mean, I don't get it. Do not use in shower or bath, and it's for hygiene purposes only. Do not share between people. Anyway, thanks, buddy. It was good. I got a good laugh out of it.
And what did you actually hook up the bidet?
I have not hooked up the bidet yet, and I'm going to tell you why. Because my wife has been so kind,
yes,
and loving.
Yes, I know.
She's actually enjoying taking care of me, and she has been wiping my ass. And let me tell you something. She has done a tremendously amazing. I have the cleanest butthole in Tennessee. There's absolutely no doubt. And I think she's doing it on purpose. Like, she's relieving her stress and her anger to me by aggressively digging into my butthole and making sure that it's clean. But it's a little uncomfortable. But I tell you what, it's clean. I mean, it feels like it's the cleanest butthole I've ever had in my life.
It probably is. It probably is. You know,
yesterday I peed by myself, so that was good. I was able to get up and pee by myself, but the poop has been all Connie, and and she wants to take care of me. I understand, and it's I mean it's a little bit depressing for me, you know how I am. I'm always trying to do stuff, and it's a little bit. That's probably the most depressing stuff, is that I can't do the stuff that I want. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Janine wanted to know how I even searched for something like that. Janine, it was actually kind of a freak that I had, because I was looking for bidets for him, right? Because I wanted to send him a bidet, so and I did. I sent him a bidet. This is one of those ones that you attach to the toilet bowl. It was like one part funny, one part maybe it could help, right?
Yeah.
And as I'm searching for this bidet, I saw this like toilet paper holder. You get a good reach if you go. I'm like, oh, I got to get that too.
Absolutely. It's going to make for good props in the future, I'm sure. And it's going to be used. It's going to get its money's worth. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
It's just, thanks for the super chat, PSS, man. That's I really appreciate it. I'm so happy to see you smile and hear you laugh. You look like you're healing lightning fast. I'm thrilled you secretly knew how to fly. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat.
That's Pam.
Yeah, it's just the accident itself was just a bad moment. It was just there's nothing I could do. It clearly not my fault. But it kind of puts things in perspective. It makes you ponder about life, and I'm just happy I'm around, man. Honestly, if I didn't have the love from the people that I've had and the reactions that I've had, I wouldn't be healing so quickly. So I'm doing better. I'm doing much better.
That's good. I'm actually looking for, and I know I have it here somewhere as soon as I find it, because I pulled the accident video.
Yeah. So I'll give you a premise of what happened that day. I know a lot of people are asking. So I'll kind of walk you through it. But what happened is, I was not out. Usually I go out with my buddies, and the motorcycle has been, really a godsend for me, because it's been such a good stress relief for me. Ultimate social distancing, obviously, with things, we're not traveling, we're not doing anything. So I'd get on the bike, go out with my friends, sometimes 3 or 4 bikes, sometimes 20 bikes, and we'd ride around, go to the mountains, and it was a lot of fun. But that particular day, I had an appointment in Dalton, Georgia, which is about 35 minutes away here by motorcycle, to put new tires on the bike. So I got up around 10:30, got dressed. One thing I do when I ride is I always full gear up. I never ride unprotected. So I had double pants on. I had my jeans and I had my inner pants on. I had my motorcycle boots that are up to the shin. I had inner jacket and my out Kevlar leather jacket. And my helmet on, gloves, protection, and all that. So I got up, I drove down to Dalton about 35 minutes, and I put brand new tires on the bike. I put the Michelin Pilot 5s, which are excellent motorcycle tire, one of the best all-around tire for a sport bike. And when I changed the headers on my motorcycle, between the link pipe where the exhaust comes out and the headers, I had a little leak. I could tell because I'd see a line where the air comes out, And I wanted to fix that. Just a little tiny little link pipe in between, a little 1-inch pipe. I told the guy there, can you fix it? He's like, just take it to a muffler shop. They'll be able to do it in 30 minutes for you. So I leave Dalton, I drive 35 minutes back up to Chattanooga, and I go to East Ridge where my restaurant was before. And I was like, man, there's gotta be a muffler shop here. So I started driving up Ringo Road trying to find a muffler shop. And while I'm driving, I'm about halfway up the road, I remember that back where the restaurant is, back in this like little industrial area, there's a muffler shop there. So I turn around and I'm heading down. None of my cameras were on because it wasn't like, a ride that I'm gonna share with people, So I didn't have my 360 camera or the GoPro on or my helmet cam on. I didn't have the helmet cam even installed on my helmet that day. So I turn around and I'm going down Ringo Road. I'm in the right lane. I'm doing about 45 miles an hour, not speeding. It's just a casual day. And next thing I know, I see this car in front of me. I mean, it wasn't even a matter of me reacting. I do remember there was a car to my left, and you'll see in the video the car that's passing by. There's really nothing I could have done. I remember distinctively looking at this car and saying to myself, we're gonna wreck. Yeah. I remember looking at the lady, waiting for her to go front or back. I mean, all this happened in a split second. I'm a little bit exaggerating it, but this is all I remember from then. Is I remember that I was gonna hit because there was nothing that I could have done. She came out. She's crossing a 4-lane highway. There's 2 lanes going down, 2 lanes going up with a double yellow line in the middle. And she wants to cross from the right side to get into the opposite lane. But she didn't look to the left. She only looked to the right. And her car goes into my lane. And then when she goes into my lane, she turns and she sees me and she freezes.
She froze.
Right?
Yeah, the car just pulled out in front of you and didn't move, right?
Didn't move. I mean, it didn't move at all.
So go ahead.
So my first instinct, of course, is to brace myself because that's just a natural reaction, right? You're about to crash. I brace myself on the handlebars. I press the brakes. I mean, all this happened, like I said, within a split second. So it's not like a motorcycle doesn't stop like a car, right? You have to slow down by gear. If you slam on the brakes, it's really not going to do anything. You're just going to slid. So I slam on the brakes and I hit her. The car, my motorcycle literally penetrates her car. And as soon as I hit her, I don't remember hitting her. So I must have blanked out or blacked out or passed out from either the accident or something. But I hit her, and then, thank God, my bike it's a naked bike, but you sit up straight a little bit. It's not like a really crotch rocket where you're bent over and your body's like really down low, because that would have been devastating. I would have probably hit her car when I slid off the bike if I was bent over. But the fact that I was upright and I had my hands up against the handlebars, what that did is upon impact, it made me fly over her car, and I landed on the other side. I don't remember any of that, but people told me that after I landed, I got up, and then I looked at my hand and I fell back down. That's what they told me, because clearly both of my hands were broken at that point. So visibly, the people that I hit didn't come out of the car at all. I have a 3.5-minute video. Thankfully, there was a business across the street that captured the whole thing on camera. And the police went over there and got the video to write her the tickets. But within 30 seconds, this lady pulls up in a car and blocks traffic so nobody runs over me, and comes out, and she was holding my hand when the EMS and the police got there. I've had the restaurant in East Ridge for 20 years. One of the cops that came to the scene, Clint, he's assistant police chief now in East Ridge. I've known him for 18 years. We're really good friends. We go shoot guns together. He's the one that taught me to shoot guns and stuff like that. Very, very good friends. He was at the scene. He didn't recognize me because my face was all bloody. I had double shield on that day with my helmet. I had the inner dark shield because it was sunny, and the outer shield, and those kind of broke. And then the movement of the helmet, I got stitches on my nose, stitches above my eye, stitches on my lip. It was just little cuts and bruises. I had like 13, 14 stitches in my face. But I was so bloody in the face that he didn't even recognize me. He felt so bad. He called Connie that night. He was like, I cannot believe that was Dimitri. You know, I didn't, plus I've lost some weight. You know, I haven't seen him in a while. So, so that was the accident. Next thing I know, I wake up and there's EMS above me. They've got my neck. They've taken the helmet out. They've got my neck wrapped, and you know, I'm saying my hands hurt. That's what I said. And the guys went, yeah, well, but they're both broken. This is how he responded. I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, when I came to, I realized that I was in a wreck, and I was a little bit in disbelief. I mean, I was glad that I was, but I didn't know what was wrong with me. You know, I was still in shock and the adrenaline and all that. And yeah, I mean, do you have the video of the wreck?
Yeah, I do.
It's a little harder to watch.
So I'm gonna show this. But before I do show this, let me just make this this statement here. I'm very disappointed with the video quality. So I really am. Number one, had I produced this video, I would have gotten a lot of shit from you because it's a portrait, not landscape. That's number one, right?
Yeah.
And number two,
I told that to Connie. Connie went to the place and got it, and I told her afterwards. But the lady didn't know how to put it on a stick.
Yeah.
And we've put a formal request in with the store to give us a better quality video, but the police already have it. So it was.
I'm just saying, like with all of the camera equipment that we have, I'm just very disappointed that this is the best we could do.
I know.
That's all I'm saying. All right. So let's go ahead and I did. So you'll see the first part here, and then I'll.
And this is where she pulls up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she pulls up.
You just went over right there.
Yeah. She pulls up and she just stops right in the middle of the street. I mean, it's just it's unbelievable. And then my car slammed into her door, and I have a little longer version. It's about 3.5 minutes, and you can see a little bit of commotion. But you can see nobody gets out of the car. There's 3 people in that car. Nobody gets out to check on me or anything. I was just sitting there laying, you know, in the middle of the street. And it's a busy road. I mean, Ringo Road is a busy road. You've been there we've driven on there together. You know, it's not like it's an easy.
So I zoomed in here a little bit. This is her. This is her pulling out.
Yeah.
And then there it is, right there.
She just stops.
Yeah, you went right over the car.
Yeah.
Right over the car.
And that's what saved me, really. That's what saved me. What saved me is going over the car and not going into the car. I had my really good helmet on, the 𝗬𝗍 helmet that I bought in Greece. This is an $800 helmet, right? Mm-hmm. So I had the really good helmet on. I didn't hurt my head at all. And I didn't hurt my spine or back or anything like that. So it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
But
here it is in slow motion too, by the way. Just kind of a frame by frame.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's
there.
really eerie to watch. You know, I mean, it really is.
In a way, I'm glad the video's not better than it is.
I know, man.
Because I don't even want to know how you hit that pavement right there.
Yeah, it was just crazy. So I wake up. They're tending to me on the floor on the road, and then they take me by ambulance, and they take me. I'm in pain now because now I'm starting to get cold, and the adrenaline's wearing off, and I'm in pain. So they take me to the emergency room, and as soon as I go into the emergency room, I say to them, "Can you please call my wife and my children and my daughters because they're going to be worried?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, okay." Nobody calls.
I can't.
At that time, nobody knows that I've been in a wreck from my family. And that was the hardest part. You know, I mean, Connie started to get worried because in a local neighborhood watch group that we have, somebody posts blue bike down on Ringo Road, looks serious. And look, there's not a lot of blue bikes in Chattanooga. Definitely not as blue as mine, because mine was one of the bluest bikes in Chattanooga. Right? So she starts to panic. Keep in mind that for the whole time that they're tending to me in the operating room, I had to go to do a CAT scan. I had to do x-rays. at every step that I did, I kept telling him, can you please call my wife and my daughters? Can you please call my wife and my daughters? And
But
everybody said, yeah, and nobody did.
I don't even think she put 2 and 2 together until I got in touch with her.
Yes.
Because she
Started
didn't
to get worried.
Yeah, she still didn't know what was going on. And that she thought I knew something. Because she kept telling me, she's like, what do you know? What do you know? Swear on your mother that you don't know anything. Swear.
Right.
And I was like, I honestly don't. But, you know, it was the day of a show, and for you not to send me the flyer, and for you not to send me the show link, and for you not to have any communication with me all day long, and then ignore a WeChat, and then ignore a text and a call, I knew something wasn't right.
Yeah, it never happens.
Never. It would never happen.
Joel Ortiz, thank you for the super chat, $2. My prayers go out to you for the speedy recovery. Thanks for the 2, Bamba. So I go in the emergency room, and they start taking X-rays and put me. And listen, it was painful. I mean, I don't know if you've taken. I mean, you know, when you're in France, it was the same thing when they had to X-ray you and you're in pain. I mean, imagine now. I'm broken all over.
You're all busted up, yeah.
I'm trying to stay not moving, get into the CAT scan. My hand couldn't straighten out. It would hit every time I would go in and out of that machine. It was just a pain in the ass. Finally, they put me in. They take me back into a room. They give me some drugs. I was awake, in and out, and they start to put me back together because I had a dislocated shoulder, I had a broken elbow, I had a fractured left wrist and a broken right wrist. So they have to put everything back together and kind of tie everything to stabilize it, right? So I'm in here and they're pushing me from one side and I hear cracking on this side, and I was just like, but I kept telling them, call my wife and my daughters, man. And and nobody did it. I was so upset. Finally, what happened is my daughter, my oldest daughter, and Connie, went out and went to the hospital here by East Ridge and see if I'm there. And they tell them that I'm not there. So the only logical place would be the trauma center, which is downtown. And so she calls and like, do you have, this person here? And they're like, oh yeah, he's here. But he's in the emergency room. We're going to call you back. She didn't even tell him if I'm alive or dead, They
were in a shift change, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a shift change.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so finally, she got back, they told her I was in an accident and all that. And I get back to the room, I think it was about 9 o'clock, maybe a little bit later. I get back, I think that's when me and you talked as well too. I get back to the room and I'm wrapped up now. Both of my arms are wrapped up. I haven't gone surgery yet. Surgery was next day, but they've got me wrapped up with splints and stuff like that. And they've put all my shoulders and everything back together. And I'm just sitting in the room. It's COVID. They don't allow guests. Nobody can come in.
Yeah.
And I'm in pain and I'm sitting there and the lady comes in that does the paperwork because it's a hospital, you gotta get paid, right? So she comes in and she's asking all these questions about insurance and all that, and I just start crying. I mean, she's like, oh, if you don't have insurance. I'm like, fuck the insurance, I've got insurance, that's not the issue. I said, nobody has contacted my family. And finally she gets my phone and she brings it to me. And I was able to open it up and call a video chatted Connie, and at least they knew I was not dead. I mean, that was and then afterwards I think I called you. So what I hadn't noticed is that since both of my arms are broken, they put the IVs in my ankles.
Oh,
in both of my ankles, Phil.
Oh.
And I wanted to go pee, right? I mean, they're like, oh, we have this new external catheter. It's a condom. You put it on. I'm like, look, man, I can go to the bathroom. I can stand up. Just help me, just help me get there. And I get up, and man, of all the brokage,
the IVs hurt the worst.
The IVs hurt the worst. So she's like, oh, don't worry, we're gonna fix that afterwards. I lay back down, and what do? They take the IVs off my legs and they put it directly into the stent of my heart. I had the IVs in my chest. Have you ever seen this before?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
the direct
good.
line. The direct line. Yeah.
It's basically a direct line. They literally suture it on your chest.
They could have poured e-liquid in there too. Would have taken care of that craving. Yeah.
The good thing is that they can take blood out of that as well too, so they don't have to poke me every time. But honestly, they couldn't poke me anywhere. Both of my hands were like, covered up from the top to bottom. So anyway, once I'm in the room, I have another problem. I can't vape because in my leather jacket, I only had one vape with me. I had a 𝗂𝗄𝗃. And since they had to cut the jacket and I had such a bad accident, I for sure thought that the vape would be broken, right? I mean, you saw how violent the hit was.
Yeah.
That was number one. Number two, I couldn't get up and get it. I couldn't use my hands, even if it was there and it was working. What I'm going to do, tell the doctor, hey doctor, can you get my vape out of the I gotta get some nicotine in my. So I'm 3 days without a vape. I don't know how I made it. 3 days without a vape. By the way, the vape that I had in my, it's a testament, is this right here. Nothing absolutely happened to it. In fact, when Connie came to get me Friday, I had a wreck Tuesday. My first vape was Friday. When Connie came and get it, I was like, hey, can you see if my vape's in the pocket? And she pulled this out and I took a couple of puffs. And I was able to get some nicotine on me.
Let me just throw a disclaimer out there. We do not recommend getting into a motorcycle accident with a 𝗂𝗄𝗃, but in case you do, hopefully it will survive. You know what? I remember distinctly that this saved my ass in France because absolutely. This was hidden on me in that emergency room in France, and I kept looking at the e-liquid level and I kept looking at that battery level, and I'm like, please just last until Dimitri can get back to me tomorrow, and it did. Yeah, that's the one right there. Yep.
I tell you one thing about this. It just goes to show you that we're not hooked on this product like we were with cigarettes. Because people say, you should ask for nicotine patch and all that. Yeah, I made it. It was okay.
Yeah.
I think at the 12 milligram level that we vape and we titrate our bodies, it's more physiological effect than it is anything else. But I will tell you, we're not addicted to this product. I mean, if you're getting 50 milligrams salt and you're addicted to that hit and all that, it probably would have been more difficult for me. But I made it. I mean, it didn't I didn't have a nervous breakdown or anything. I wasn't fiending for my vape, so it was okay. But the doctor comes in and says to me, we need to have emergency surgery. We're going to have surgery tomorrow because your hands are pretty messed up. So now I'm in the hospital. I have no vape. My family is not there, right? And, with any surgery, Phil, it's scary because you're going into surgery. You're going to be under anesthesia, and you don't have nobody there. That was the hardest part. It's just I'm by myself. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, whatever. We got to do what we got to do. They come and get me the next morning. They take me to my room, which I was gonna get a room eventually, but I got a little bit early that day. They took me to the room first, and then they get me ready to take me to surgery. And I remember going into the surgery room, a bunch of nurses over there asking me questions. Everybody was really nice. I can't fault them for that. Everybody really took care of me. And I'm not a needy person. It's not like I busted their balls about anything, But I was in the emergency room, and they say somebody called in, one of the nurses there. I don't know. I have a lot of friends, obviously, but somebody called in and said that they knew me. So they took me and they put me in a special room by myself and all that. It was really nice. So the surgery was a long surgery. I actually have 2 cuts on this arm because the joint where the elbow is broke. So they put a metal joint inside there. So they cut me on this side and they cut me on that side to be able to get in and change it. And then they've cut this wrist all the way down to put a metal plate in this one over here. So it was an extensive surgery. Then they tied me up and they took me back to them to my room.
I have a question. Once we start traveling again for vaping, is this going to affect us going through the TSA at all? You think?
I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely going to hurt my jerk sessions for a while. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, everything
that machine.
Everything's okay from the waist down, right? Everything's perfect.
Oh yeah. I still get a hard on every morning. That's absolutely working fine.
Do your arms bend that way? Can you get down there if you need to?
I can't.
Oh my God.
I can pee now. Like yesterday was the first night that I got up and I peed by myself. But that's about it. It's gonna yeah. You're gonna have to jerk me off. Is basically what I'm saying.
No problem. But if I had I known, I would have not only gotten you the butt wipe. I would have got. There's plenty of other stuff that I could get you. You know, I mean, but Connie's taking care of your rear end. She's taking care of your front end too. I would hope that. I would imagine, right? Okay, good. All right, good. I just want to make sure.
Known Tube, thanks for the $5, man. We appreciate it. Glad to see you're okay, Dana. Thank you so much for the super chat. I get done with the surgery. I get back to the room. They tell me everything goes fine. I'm woozy. You know, they're giving me painkillers, and they're giving me muscle relaxers. The staff was good. I can't fault the hospital for anything. All the nurses and all that were very, very helpful. But the greatest relief came the next day when this is Wednesday when I did the surgery. The doctor comes in Thursday to check on me and says, hey, look, tomorrow morning, Friday, this guy's going to come in, take off, you know, these wraps that we have off the surgery, and they're going to put a cast here. I have a splint on my left fracture. This is actually 2 pieces. I mean, I know it looks like one. The glove is for anti-swelling. So I have a splint. The blue thing is a splint for my arm, for my wrist, and then the other machine here is
look at that fucking thing.
To keep my, and they're heavy. It's like 20 pounds. It's a pain in the ass. And then the doctor goes, I'm gonna give you the opportunity, you know, to use your arm like this, and he's going like this, and I'm like, I'm gonna look like a fucking alien, you know. But he's gonna come Friday and wrap you up, and if everything goes well, we'll release you. So I called Connie and said, hey, you can pick me up tomorrow. And the guy came in Friday morning, and he was really good, wrapped everything up good. And then I was happy to leave there. I think it's that they're trying to get people out quick because of COVID. They don't want you to stay in the hospital. But
I was surprised. I was very, very surprised that you got out that quick.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. But actually, it worked in my favor because there's no care like when you're at home with your family, and you just feel more comfortable, and it's easier for you to recover when you're at home than being at the hospital.
Well, that's where the healing really begins, is at home, right? Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, long story short, it was just an unfortunate moment. I'm so blessed and lucky, and whatever angels I had, you know, obviously I always wear my crosses. You've seen that over the years. I had my mom's cross, and now recently with my father-in-law's passed away, he wanted me to have his cross. So I was wearing both of the crosses that day. I never take them off anyway, but what angels I had, it could have been much worse. I could have been paralyzed. Knock on wood, I could have died. And my kids got really, you know, worried and panicked, and I didn't want to put them in that position, but it is what it is. Now, on the other hand, the lady that hit me, no driver's license, no insurance, wasn't her car, and the tags that were on the car did not match the car. The guy that owned the car, I think it was a Dodge Journey, was in the car with her, but he was not driving, and there was another person in the car as well too. And, you know, I mean, look, I've got insurance and all that. The one thing that Connie's really good at is, you know, she makes sure that I had full coverage and all that, and uninsured. But what I found really surprising is, why isn't there a law if you hit somebody and you don't have the proper document and you cause bodily injury, you should be arrested? I mean, I think that I would advocate for that. I mean, I've been lobbying for vaping for 6-7 years. I would advocate for this as well too. What if I went to the hospital? They gave her 4 citations, okay, and this is the law, right? So she got 4 tickets. Clearly, on the police report, it says she's at fault. But that doesn't help my cause as well too. What if I had gone to the hospital and died?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Where are they going to find this person afterwards? So I think that there should be something there in place when you cause bodily. I'm not saying you have a fender bender or whatever, but I give them a ticket. But when you cause bodily harm, they should arrest them and take them in. I mean, it's just, I'm not going to get chicken salad out of this person. I guarantee you that. But again, that's the point. The point is I'm alive and I have insurance to take care of my bills. But so I still have to pay like $8,000 in my deductible, you know, for the health insurance. But.
So when this whole thing happened, a lot of people reached out to me and they said they were looking for a GoFundMe, I instantly went to your wife and I said, let's do it. Let's set up a GoFundMe. and she said no, and she said she talked to you, and you said no. And then eventually I was like, well, how about I just, set it up and I keep all the money? And she didn't want to go for that either for some reason. I don't know why.
You should have said, hey, honey.
I mean, I was thinking about doing it. Hey, the Dimitri fuck, because I don't know where these super chats go. Maybe that money would be missing too,
Yeah.
But
look, I mean, I appreciate the thoughts and all that. It's not to me, GoFundMe's are way overstretched, and you know how I feel about them, especially when I see some people doing GoFundMe's for some stupid shit. I'm blessed and I'm privileged to be able to work and afford and have insurance, and I have uninsured insurance, so I'm gonna be okay. It's not a matter of the financial thing for me. Just the outpour of love and support and messages that I got is more than enough. But some people abuse the GoFundMe system as well too, and it's something that I'm a little bit bitter about, because I've seen it, especially in our industry, meaning the vaping industry. I've seen it being abused by some people.
So if you want to take care of Dimitri, go out and buy some platform product.
There you go.
It'll help me too. Yeah, and the other thing is,
thanks Ben for the super chat. 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹. Maybe Innokin can make a vape to attach to your arm. Glad you're okay. Thank you, Phil, for keeping us informed. Thanks for the super chat, Ben. We really, really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, so a lot of people, they reached out to, they were looking for where to send cards or get well cards or gifts or flowers and stuff. And Connie's like, well, just post the address. I'm like, no, bad idea, Connie. I'm not gonna publicly post your address. So I gave it out to some close friends that wanted the address, but I didn't think that was a good idea.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it. I got some chocolates, I got some fruit from the Jarvises, and it really puts a smile on my face. And it's not even the monetary value. It's just that somebody's thinking about you is really gives you strength to heal up. And that's how I feel about this. I feel like everybody that reached out to me, had a couple of people text me that I haven't heard from in years, and it just, whatever. It made me feel good, and it's really giving me strength, and I feel better every day. Yeah. I'm gonna be back to my usual self soon.
You seem pretty good already, which is fantastic.
I'm surprised. I really am. I thought it was bad there for a while. I got I got depressed. I got a little bit worried, but every day's been better. I'm sure
you're going to go through that. I'm sure it's gonna happen more as you go through the days. I tell you, that I had all intention to come. Connie doesn't know, but I was actually packed. I was on my way. But she recommended that I didn't go, because of COVID and because she said there was nothing I could do. And, I just figured just be there for you and just hang out and joke. And if you needed something from the supermarket, I'd go to the supermarket for you, no, I don't know. Maybe she feels like I don't keep the bathroom clean. I think I keep the bathroom pretty clean. That's not.
I think with COVID and all that, and I haven't even seen my mother-in-law, to be honest with you. She calls every day, but she won't allow her to come in the house because we're all okay here. And if I get COVID, and if I get any kind of form of COVID right now, it would be devastating.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
It's not going to be good. So she just wants to make sure that I'm okay, and then hopefully I get my second shot for the vaccine as well too next week. And honestly, really, there's not much that you can do. Just be here, but I also want to be able to do something as well too. I mean, come and just see me sitting on my back all day. It's gonna probably depress me even more. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, man, bringing you to a strip club in the condition you're in right now. Think of all the attention we would get.
Oh my god! Hey, ladies, can somebody help me pee?
Yeah, can you please make this poor guy feel better? Could you imagine? Oh my god, that'd be the first place I'd bring you to. Not being selfish or anything like that, but that would be the first place.
The other thing that pisses me off is man, I had a good looking bike, man. I had really fixed it up. I put so much love and effort.
I know you did.
And I mean, I don't mean to brag, but it was one of the best looking bikes. I got so many good comments on it, and it's gonna be totaled. I mean, it's totaled. There's nothing they can do about it. But whatever, it is what it is. People say you don't get on a bike or you're gonna drive. I mean, obviously, I'm a little bit worried now and concerned. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get on a motorcycle again. But again, you can't just lay down and die either. You know what I'm saying? You got. It's hard to explain. I live for a little bit of excitement. Yeah, and you know me. You know how I am. I
know.
live for a little bit of an excitement, and it's what keeps me young and what keeps me keeps me occupied, and it keeps me from going crazy.
I did.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll go and just finish my pilot's license. I was thinking about doing that because I've got 40 hours of flying, and maybe I'll go back and it'll be easier for me to come and see you in Cape Coral. Just take a plane and come down there. I'll be down there in a couple hours.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I really saw that in you, and I really saw you enjoying it. Like you really, really enjoyed it. I mean, I saw that, right? I saw you like, tricking out the bike, and I saw like you were really into the accessories and the accessorizing, and you were like so into that color, and like you wanted everything to match that color. And you started to put a lot of videos up on YouTube or Facebook and YouTube. And I think you kind of aspire to do even more stuff there. I could really see you were enjoying it, and just to have that taken away, it's got to be horrible. And
it wasn't even like I can see if I was out doing something crazy or doing willies, or we were out with my buddies the other time. I hit 125. But when we were on the highway, nobody was on the road or whatever. I can see if I did something stupid. It was just so out of the blue moment, like not where you expect me to wreck this bad. That makes it even worse. I'll take the blame if I do something wrong, but it wasn't that either. Jack Me Off, by the way, great name, and you're more than welcome to any time. Thanks for the 20 bomb, man. Never underestimate the benefits of a good helmet. Glad you're doing well. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And you're absolutely right. I never skipped out on helmets. Phil will tell you, I've got a collection of helmets. All are, 𝗠𝗠 and HJC. I have really, really good helmets, but I just happened to wear my best helmet that day. That was the best helmet that I have in my collection.
So I have more questions about this. By the way, we're getting more super chats than we ever have before. So I'm thinking about I'm going to cast up next week too.
You should have a golf cart accident.
Yeah, I'll put some braces on, and so how injured could I possibly get on a golf cart? I'll figure something. I'll put dirt on my face or something.
Oh boy.
So this is something that nobody's seen. Okay. And this is something that I had a really hard time with after what happened to you happened. Okay. Do you remember the little segment that you did on our last show with the motorcycle?
I don't remember.
Advice from the helmet.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the day that we were the day of your accident, the day we had a show that night.
Yeah.
I put together a little something, okay? And I apologize in advance for the camera angle, but here, have a look at this.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, hold on.
That nice little talk. So Dimitri did that nice little talk on the Last Smoker show, and he called it Advice from the Helmet. I thought it was a really good segment. He offered some good advice about vaping, and I thought I would do something similar. Although I don't have a motorcycle, I pedal mine. I'm about halfway into my ride, about 5 miles now. And what I'm calling this segment is Pedal Persuasion.
Pedal Persuasion.
And yeah, I understand. I do know that it's literally impossible to film me at a worse angle than this right here. It's just, Dimitri will tell you, it's just the worst angle possible.
It's the worst.
Dimitri gave you some good advice. I'm going to try to give you some good advice too. This is going out to all the people in the Tennessee area, Chattanooga area. If you happen to see this guy riding around, do yourselves a favor and just stay pretty far away, okay? Because this guy right here is literally, as he's driving around, operating like 3 different microphones, 4 different cameras. He's probably texting and talking to himself on top of it all. So yeah, that is my advice. for you folks that are listening, pedal persuasion. If you do see this guy, stay far away.
Pedal persuasion.
That's funny.
Do you believe that?
Funny. That's unbelievable.
Like I almost felt like it was my fault.
Yeah, no, it really is not. No, you shouldn't think about it that way. It was just a bad moment, man. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And it's really funny that timing of it.
I mean, seriously, though. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, and I hope I don't offend anybody with what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. You know, like looking at that camera angle and how bad it is. Like if any girl was giving me a blowjob and looked up, that would be the view that she would see. That's fucking horrible, man.
Don't look up if you're fucking on feel. That's all. That's my advice. That's my pedal persuasion for you today. Don't look up. Keep looking at the ground.
Oh my God. So yeah, I worked on trying to figure out how to like record the audio really well, and I have it down to a point where I'm actually going to do a live on the bike.
Yeah, the audio was really good.
Yeah, and you know the reason why is you know not to show nothing more than, hey, you know what, a 51-year-old who has been vaping since 2009 could get on his bike and do a live and talk and ride 10 miles. You know, and that's kind of why I want to do it, right? So that people can see that, you know, and see that, you know, I feel like vaping really has, you know, saved my life and changed a lot, you know, changed me, who I am.
Absolutely. You know, I was working out and I'm glad I was for 2-3 months before I started the gym with a personal trainer. I was doing weights, and it's really helped me. Because I can't get up. I mean, I can't push my arms in the bed, so I have to use my core to get up, and I don't have any problem doing it. I mean, it's really is a testament that I wouldn't be able to do all this stuff if I was overweight or if I was still smoking, and how better my health has gotten. And it's unfortunate that the government's trying to take it away, which is you know, I mean, it's a good segue if you want to get into the vape mail ban before we get into the census.
Yeah, let's do that. I do have a question about the stitches on the face and the black eye. Was that just from your face impacting the inside of the helmet?
So it was a combination of me hitting the helmet, kind of bounced a little bit. It was tight, but it bounced a little bit and cut my nose here on top. And then I had the two shields, the outer shield of the helmet, and I also had the inner shield because it has a little drop-down visor that comes in, plastic visor that's dark. So if you have sun, instead of wearing glasses, you can drop down the visor. So I had both of the visors on. And from the impact, the inside visor broke. And it cut me above my eye. Got a little cut on my lip here.
Okay.
And a little cut here to my nose, which, by the way, I still have the stitches in. I don't know if they're supposed to fall or they're not, but they haven't fallen out yet.
I'll come on. I got tools. Let me come over.
I'm going to the doctor Thursday, so I'll tell him to take them out. But the cut on my nose is still not in good shape. The rest of the stuff is healing up pretty well. But
considering what you looked like the first night I saw you.
Look at my.
Oh.
This is the inside of my arm. I have a lot of that, a lot of bruises. I have a gash on my left shin, which is now it's feeling much better. The other problem that I've had I got really worried for 4 or 5 days. My right ankle and the bottom of my foot feels like I've torn a ligament inside there, because when I get up, I try to sit up and I had a lot of pain in my right leg. So I was actually limping when I was walking, because I'd get up every 2-3 hours, you know, to walk. But today, that's much better as well, too. So that's kind of a relief. I was really stressed out major that. And then, you know, little bumps and bruises. My left rib hurts. I think I hurt or fractured a little bit the left rib, but it's nothing major. But, you know, other than these two monstrosities that I'm carrying around, you know, I'm going to be okay.
You're going to be fine. Yeah, I was a wreck until I talked to you that night. I'm so happy that you what do you call it? Video chatted me that.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
night.
I called my wife and then I called you. I mean, that's the only two people that I.
Yeah, do me a favor. Next time, can you call me before your wife though, please? Let's get your priorities straight, okay?
I thought about it. If I wasn't too worried about my girls, you know, I was just I was like, what is Maria? And Maria's going crazy on Facebook and posting and And it was scary. After I saw it, and then I saw how many people were worried about me, and it wasn't my fault either. I was so upset that they did not call. I'm in the emergency room, and I'm telling them the number to call, like at least call and let her know that I'm okay, and nobody called. Sucked. Yeah. It sucked.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. And so I brought this up to you when we were considering doing a show tonight. You know, I said, you want to do something last week, and you said, no, give me another week. And I said, okay, let's give you another week. And I said, the thing that I have been asked about, and I have seen the most concern with out there lately, is the shipping ban. Right?
Yeah.
And I brought that to you, and I said, you know, that's definitely your area expertise, and would you want to talk about it on this show? And you said yes, so here we are.
Yeah, so I want people to understand that this bill, it was not a last minute thing. This thing has been around for 3-4 years. I don't know if you remember, 𝗂𝗏 put out the first call to action. I think it might have been 3 years ago. I might be a little bit off on my dates, but it's been around for a long time. It's a standalone bill that basically amends the PACT Act to include what they're calling the Protection of Shipping Electronic Cigarettes to Adolescents Act or whatever, some stupid title that they came up with. So the bill was lingering around, but if you know anything about politics in America, and if you don't, you should educate yourself. You know, fuck it. You're an American citizen. You should know the laws and how laws are made in this country. And don't expect that from some YouTube show to educate you. I mean, a lot of the YouTube shows give you wrong information anyway. But a standalone bill rarely, if ever, becomes law in America. It very rarely happens. Very rarely happens. What happens is when they want to pass these bills, these standalone bills, they come up with, you know, amendments to a bigger bill that they basically negotiate from both sides. So the Democrats say, hey, we have these bills that we want to pass, and then the Republicans say, we have these bills that we want to pass, and then they start this little negotiation, and they attach everything to a bigger bill, which in this case was the last relief bill that President Trump signed, the one that was going to save vaping, in December, which allocated $600 relief for COVID. It was the COVID relief bill. And in that bill, they had all these other bills attached, including this. The actual process was called, I have all my notes here in front of me, Consolidated Appropriation Act of 2021. And that was, like I said, part of the COVID relief bill. What it did is it amended an existing pact that has been out there since 2009. In 2009, Congress passed the PACT Amendment, which amended an existing bill that was around since 1949 that needed to be amended. But that bill required interstate shippers to report cigarette sales to state tobacco tax administrators in order to combat illicit sales and tax avoidance. This bill basically was created because when cigarette taxes started getting higher, people were just shipping them from lower states that had lower tax to other states. So the government, of course, does not want to lose money. It's all about money. So they created this pact. So if you try to ship cigarettes interstate, you're going to have to, well, number one, it prohibits it, right? But there are ways for you to buy cigarettes. But if you do buy cigarettes, they want to make sure that the person that's buying it is paying the taxes in that particular state, depending on what the taxes are for tobacco in their state. The biggest thing in this, obviously, is that it prohibits USPS, which is the #1 shipper of vapor products in the United States, to actually ship vaping products, right? That's one of the things that is the most damaging in it. However, for other transactions, such as B2B or other interstate transactions, it requires the person to be registered in all states, right? If you're going to do business in all states, it requires you to register with that state and get a license, a tobacco license, in order for you to be able to collect and submit tax to every state individually if you're going to make a transaction that involves these particular products. The actual amendment is called, the PACT Act Amendment is called Preventing Online Sales of E-Cigarettes to Children Act. Now, I mean, you know, me and Phil for years here through the Smoker Show and the DP Show have told you that, you know, kids are the shield that these crooks, these mafia people called politicians, this is the tool that they're using to take away your liberties and your right to live a healthier lifestyle. And once again, like with flavors, they did exactly the same thing. I mean, if you're going to create a bill that says, oh, let's prevent online sales of e-cigarettes to children, right? Who's not going to get behind that? If you don't smoke or you don't vape, you're like, oh, yeah, that's great. You know, we don't want children. Nobody looks at how these children are actually getting these products, right? But the bill itself in its language, meaning the way that it was titled, it's going to get support. And it's going to get support from both sides of the aisle because I don't know who's told you what, but nor a Republican or a Democrat gives a shit that you quit smoking with vaping. They don't. They don't. And proof positive that this was passed with a Republican Senate and a Republican president that signed it in. Alongside with the shipping, right? What this requires is for the seller to file a monthly report with the State Tobacco Tax Administrator and any other local or tribal entity that taxes the sale of cigarettes. So it's not just the state. There are some localities, right, that do have excise taxes on tobacco. So you have to be able to file a report and pay those taxes every month. The reports must include the name and address of the persons delivering and receiving the shipment and the brand and quantity of the cigarettes that were shipped. In this case, it will be vapor products. This requirement applies to sales of all cigarettes and smokeless tobacco, including sales to consumers and sales between businesses. So even though they say that USPS is banning this, which is true, that doesn't mean that it's prohibited for common carriers, well, private carriers, I should say, to actually ship these products. You can. It just becomes more expensive, ultimately, for the consumer. This in combination, well, let me get a little bit into the definition of what they're considering here, because again, a lot of YouTube shows and a lot of businesses are misinformed or intentionally trying to misinform you. This modifies the original definition of cigarette, as it was stated in the PACT Act of 2009, and now it includes ENDS, which is electronic nicotine delivery systems. But the way that ENDS is defined very broadly in this particular amendment. It says, essentially it includes all vaping products, liquids, components, and accessories, whether they contain nicotine or not. Specifically, an ENDS product is defined as any electronic device that through an aerosolized solution delivers nicotine, flavor, or any other substance to the user inhaling from the device, including an e-cigarette, an e-hookah, an e-cigar, a vape pen, advanced refillable personal vaporizer, an electronic pipe, and any component, liquid, part, or accessory of a device described above, without regard to whether the component, liquid, part, or accessory is sold separately from the device. And they really emphasize that part. Based on this definition of ENDS, zero nicotine e-liquids, synthetic tobacco-free nicotine, and CBD, THC, hemp vape pens, among other things, would appear to be captured. I saw immediately on Facebook when this was passed, a company, I'm not going to say who it is. I don't want to start drama until I can get my hands up so I can dodge bullets. But I saw a company, big company, immediately post on Facebook, well, we don't sell nicotine vapes, we ship CBD vapes, thinking that this is a way of skirting this. When clearly, I just read you the definition. It does not have to be nicotine. It does not even have to contain nicotine. It doesn't even have to do anything with nicotine vaping. Any electronic device that through an aerosolized solution delivers nicotine, flavor, or any other substance to the user inhaling from the device. Deer antler juice, captured. Vitamin B, captured. Caffeine vape, captured. CBD vape, captured. Delta 8, captured. Delta 9, captured. Delta 69, whatever the fuck the next one is going to be, captured. Under the definition of the PACT Act amendment. The PACT Act requirements summarized above apply to ends effective 90 days from the date of enactment. So this was in December of 20th, I think it got signed in. So on or about March 28th, 2021 is when this is going to take effect. Certain requirements, labeling, weight restrictions, age 21 verification on delivery, only apply to direct-to-consumer sales made through common carriers or private delivery services. Now, what is the difference between common carriers? Common carriers are FedEx and DHL. Right? The most two popular common carriers that are out there aside from USPS. Now, USPS has announced, we haven't seen it yet, okay? There hasn't been a guidance, neither from the ATF nor USPS. It should come out, but it hasn't come out yet. We actually haven't seen it. All that we're getting is reports from people that are in the industry, resellers, or people that deal in shipping every day that the USPS intends to do this. But FedEx and DHL both have said, again, I have not seen the official, we've heard it from, again, shippers and resellers, and I've actually reached out to a couple of people that I do business with, and they have confirmed that both FedEx and DHL are going to quit shipping vapor products. So that takes away USPS, FedEx, and DHL, which is the three most common carriers that people use every day for our products. That doesn't exclude smaller companies, and there's about a dozen smaller companies, whether they're regional or a little bit bigger, that you could use to ship. There's going to be some requirements, sign-on delivery, a little bit more expense. So it's going to be more expensive for you. If you want to order a bottle of juice for $20, you might as well tag on another $20 between shipping, sign-on delivery, which is an extra cost, okay? But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to stop shipping completely, which again is a rumor that's been falsely by people that act like they know everything in this industry, but they really don't. I'm trying to be as nice as possible because I'm sick, you know. I don't want to be an ass. But sometimes you have to be. So we've seen that third-party common carriers have refused because both FedEx and DHL have announced that they will begin prohibiting electronic cigarettes, vaping liquids, and other vaping products. I've seen an article from Jim McDonald on Vaping 360 that said that he talked to somebody within UPS, and they said that on or about around April 5th of 2021, that they will not transport vaping products to, from, or within the United States due to the increased complexity to ship those products. So what does this act do? I mean, this act really, Phil, squeezes out small business once again. And everything that we have seen methodically from the government in the last 4 or 5 years of regulation is that they're trying to eliminate companies. If in the last month there's been 2 sets of letters go out to companies that don't have PMTAs, some of our friends, some people that me and you know commonly, right? It's been in this industry. I've seen that they've pulled their pages and essentially shut down. The last batch of PMTA letters came out 4 days ago. It's on the FDA warning letters website if you want to go see it. Because simply the cost that's going to be involved for a small company to ship and the ability for them to be able to ship is going to be greatly limited. It's just another hurdle that the government is trying to use alongside with special interest groups that are pushing for this, meaning Bloomberg, Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, big manufacturers. They're pushing along these bills that are simply made to eliminate competition, less harmful competition to the deadly combustible that exists in every fucking corner of this country. I don't care how remotely you live in America, you'll find cigarettes. But you're not going to find vapor products easy, especially in rural areas. But you know what rural areas have, Phil? Tobacco.
Yeah.
They have tobacco, man, in every fucking corner. So I think that the inability of us as an industry, as a whole, the financial gain interests and the consumers and everything that's in between, the inability for us to express our intolerance of the government doing these things in the last 4 or 5 years that is eliminating a product that saves lives and is in direct competition with cigarettes and pharmaceutical companies has brought us to this point. We simply, as a nation, I think we simply as citizens feel like we can't do anything about it. And they're just walking all over us. They are taking advantage of the inability that we have to organize and get a message across to politicians and to anybody that tries to stop this product from benefiting my life, my family's life, my health, my future. We're not doing nothing about it. And this is why we are here. It's not the end of the world. Look, I told you I had weed vape pens shipped to me from Las Vegas in December. There's companies that are going to continue to ship through USPS. There's no way they can open every package. If the package doesn't say vape on it, there's going to be ways that, as always in this industry, we will find ways to manipulate and skirt the regulations because we have to. Unjust laws, unfair laws should not be followed. I've said that a million times. So it's not as bad. I mean, I know people are panicking, and rightfully so. It's going to make it more difficult, but it's not the end, is what I'm saying. If you don't see me jumping out of the window of a 10-story building, then you shouldn't jump either. But this bill is real, and it's going to hurt a lot of small businesses, and it's going to hurt a lot of consumers, especially those in rural areas. Just a little tip. Like I said, there's about a dozen carriers that could be used for vapor products. I'm sure they're dying to get our business. If you know, I'll touch on this privately if you're a business and you need help with that. There's companies out there that can register for you on every state and file those taxes for you. It costs the company money. A small company wouldn't be able to get this company that I know to do all this for them and file in 50 states and pay their taxes every month because it costs you money. Some of the larger companies are going to do it. I guarantee you, some of my clients are going to do it. But that just gives them an advantage in the marketplace because they can continue to sell their products and you're not going to be able to, and that's unfair. But you know, maybe it will drive some business back to the brick and mortar stores again. If the brick and mortar stores were prepared more for the vaping industry, I would say possibly. I think it's going to be more easy for people to say, okay, I can get a pack of Marlboro down the street at Jim Bob's country store than it is for me to drive 20 miles down to the town and try to find a vape shop that I feel comfortable going in and buying vapor products. So I hope you guys understand what this bill is, and I hope I explain it in a way that it makes sense to you and stop listening to stupid people.
And when you say it's going to, it's going to hurt small business. Because a lot of small business ships, but big tobacco doesn't necessarily ship because big tobacco vape products are already found where every cigarette can be found, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And B2B sales, again, there's a little bit misconfusion, but B2B sale, and look, and again, I'm not saying this is over. I've heard some chatters, I can't get very specific, but I've heard in some chatter that some big companies are upset about this. Big companies, okay? It's not just us. If we have any chance, it's our chance is like these big companies are upset about this. So they're gonna have to find a way to either negotiate with USPS. We still haven't seen the guidance from USPS. We haven't seen the final language from the ATF. But you know, the ATF can arrest you. That's the only difference between, you know, getting a letter for the PMTA, which, you know, you can wipe your ass off with it and send it back to them. The ATF can bust in with guns and arrest you, right? That's the only difference. They're basically putting you in the category of now I can put you in jail. And that's a scary thought for a lot of these people that are actually helping people quit smoking. Can you imagine? Can you imagine helping somebody quit smoking and going to jail for it?
So when you say like there's nothing that we feel like there's nothing that we can do because we didn't organize it. All right. But
I think I said that more in a greater scale to understand that.
Right. But I mean, like a lot.
At the point this call to action went out for this, nobody really cared. Everybody had kind of given up. That's basically what I'm saying.
Isn't that where everybody is though at this point?
Absolutely.
I mean, because like we've tried. I mean, I kind of feel like we've tried everything, and like who's fighting for us anymore? Because like VTA they're on the verge of going away, right? Is 𝗃𝗏𝗃 doing anything? Can 𝗊𝗂 do anything?
No.
Do we? Who do we have?
Nobody. We have nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. You can send me hate mail if you want, whatever. Prove me wrong. How about that? Have you been able to ever fucking prove me wrong? No. I'm not saying nothing bad about 𝗃𝗏𝗃 or 𝗊𝗂. They're all trying to do whatever they can, but the reality is financially we're up against giants that we cannot compete dollar for dollar with. So to have any kind of remote idea that 𝗊𝗂 or 𝗃𝗏𝗃 or Greg or anybody can save us, you're out of your fucking mind. I have a great low mile motorcycle to sell you if you want. Light scratches.
Small dents.
That's just, I mean, I'm just keeping it real, and you know, you should appreciate the honesty if anything else, or prove me wrong, and you just haven't been, they can't prove me wrong because that's just the reality. The bill has already been signed by President Trump.
How the hell is China going to ship? Don't they use DHL for everything?
It says United States. It doesn't say international in this
Okay.
particular in the notes that I had. I wouldn't be surprised if they stopped it. But look, most of the stuff that comes from China, except from the disposables that have nicotine inside, most of the stuff that comes in China doesn't have any nicotine inside. So I think, again, there's ways to bypass it there as far as shipping is concerned.
When first of all, excuse me, I need to interrupt this because I do need to fill my tank with the #1 best-selling flavor in the unsalted line. You know, I don't know if you can get it shipped to you, but anyway, there it is, the delicious watermelon peach. Fuck, what was I going to ask?
I'm going to try to catch up on the chat a little bit, but
Yeah.
Dallas Vapor says, I have partaken in every call to action against this, but what else can really be done? I have written the president and Congress too, don't know what else can be done. Dallas, I really appreciate you. I know how you feel. You're frustrated. I'm frustrated as well too. Trust me, me and Phil have given our lives in advocacy for the last 10 years. But unless you have a serious movement, meaning a serious rumble, we need 5 million of you, Dallas Vapor. That's what I'm saying. There's no way that we can reach over 100,000 people in this industry. None. There's no way. And out of those 100,000 people that we reach through the various social media networks, maybe 2% really care. So that's what, 2,000 people out of the 100,000 people that we reach that are actually going to do something.
Yeah.
That is a reality number, folks. Again, Phil, prove me wrong.
I can't prove you wrong because I was in Washington with you. You know?
Yeah, in Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is the reality. We make a post on Facebook and we feel like, I think that's just a sign of the times. Sorry, my. I think we make a post on Facebook, and because you're on social media, you feel like the whole world is watching you, but it's not. It's not. It's just a little group of people, another group of people that you're reaching, and nobody gives a shit. I mean, that's just the reality. Even people with pull, meaning influential people, not me, Rip Trippers or Mike Vapes or some of these big guys that have huge pools. No matter how hard they would try, I mean, I really wish they would try harder, but even if they did, I get it. A, it doesn't get views. B, they realize that even if they have this huge following, that nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
They want to see what the next device Mike Vapes is going to put out.
Yeah.
And I can show this graphically with algorithms if I just go to the Vape Team page. I mean, I love Mike, you know that. I'm not saying anything bad about him. I'm talking about the followers. If he makes a post inside there, hey folks, there's a call to action in Minnesota. Look at the algorithm. You can actually pull that post, copy the link, and put it in an algorithm. You'll see the impressions and reactions of that post versus the post that he did today announcing his new clutch mod that's coming out. You will be surprised on the grand scale of difference between those two posts. That's the reality, folks. That's not Mike's Vape's fault. That's just the reality of where we are now. Yeah. And you can hate me all you want about it, or you can just hate the entire situation about it. I know there's a lot of passionate people out there, but that's the truth.
Yeah. When they talk about components in the shipping ban, could that relate to DIY stuff too?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely, because it says.
You want to start looking at that submarine again?
Yeah, because it says it doesn't matter how they're intended to be used. I don't know if you caught that, but let me just. Sorry, my notes are all over the place. It was really hard getting all this stuff ready. But it says, shit, where is
it's I still can't believe it. It's this difficult to not smoke. Think about it. It is this difficult
it really
for
is,
adults to not smoke. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's funny. I mean, I know it's not funny, but it's funny to think about how difficult it is. Yeah. So in the definition, it says, here's where the emphasis is added. Without regard to whether the component, liquid, part, or accessory is sold separately from the device, meaning that if you take nicotine here, VG and PG here, it doesn't make any difference if they're, together or not, as long as what the intention is to create the substance that the user is inhaling from the device. So the definition is extremely broad, which again, I think that if we did have a really powerful lobby at the time that this was being negotiated, at least we were able to amend a little bit the language there to make it a little bit more feasible to the reality of this industry. But we had nobody fighting for us when this bill was being passed, and it was just tossed up there by, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who. It was a Democratic bill, obviously, but what goes to show is that even though it was a Democratic bill, it was tossed up there for the Democrats, and the Republicans did not refuse it because they accepted it. They have to negotiate, like the Cole-Bishop Amendment. Remember that fiasco a few years ago? Yeah. It was the same way. We put up the Cole-Bishop Amendment, and it got knocked down. We were just not a negotiating tool.
Black market. All right. So do we? On a lighter note, do we want to talk about this?
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be, yeah, we will. It's gonna be okay. Don't panic yet. If you don't see me, jumping
off a motorcycle
from the building, yeah. If you don't see me jumping from the building, it's not over yet. Yeah.
Yeah. But in reality, VTA was kind of our biggest advocate. We don't have that anymore.
We don't have it.
Right?
And they're broke. I mean, look, that's just, there's no money. Oh, by the way, what I wanted to say earlier, this is the last thing, we're going to move on to the census. Companies like Medusa Distribution have already started the process of applying to the various states for their license. This is a distributing company that sells to vape shops. They don't sell to direct to consumer. But if you are a vape shop and want to continue to be able to get B2B products being shipped to you, go to the Medusa, and other people are doing it too. I'm just shout out to Medusa because I like them. You can go to the Medusa website and fill out a form with your tax ID number and stuff like that, and they will be able to continue to wholesale product to you as a vape store. So they're going through the process to be able to get that license in every individual state and keep up with the reports and pay the taxes, for them to continue to sell B2B to you. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there as well.
Yeah. I just read this. I happened to catch this. Ghost Train says we can't count on Biden for anything. We can't count on anybody for anything.
Okay, tell me who I can count on. Who can we count on? My argument to you is, tell me who we can count on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who has helped us?
Because under Trump, we had a PMTA deadline that was enforced, forcing all these small manufacturers to scramble last minute and try to fill out this paperwork. We had a vape mail ban that was signed by. I'm not taking it out on Trump. I'm just saying, give me somebody that you think would say vaping.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll get behind him. I'll go knock on doors for him. I'll donate to their campaign. I'll go be a volunteer and run the phones for them. Give me a name.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
I'm sure Bill's taken down messages or questions. I did see a question come up before. If a device passes PMTA, is that still under the ban?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cigarettes are completely illegal to be sold in America. Yeah, doesn't mean anything. And I don't think that Green Eyed Lady says this means all the hard work, time, and money people spent submitting their PMTAs was a total waste. That opens up a different question. If you're talking about the vape mail ban specific, no. Getting a PMTA doesn't have nothing to do with the vape mail. You still be able to sell your products in stores and stuff like that. Absolutely not. Now, do I believe that PMTAs will be approved? That's a topic for a different discussion, for a different show. Okay, so let's get into the census. And before you do an unboxing, the census device that was released by Innokin. I saw a lot of stuff that I couldn't reply to because I can't type, and I saw some YouTube videos. It's very hard for people to explain technology when it comes to YouTube videos, right? Only only probably Phil and Daniel can really explain to you what is going on with a device. But when I did this in Greece, I sent these to some prototypes to my boys in Greece and a couple of the reviewers, and I had a Zoom call with them. This is before the accident. We were talking about it, and I saw some comments on a YouTube live like, "Oh yeah, this is it's what we're seeing out there as far as devices. It's an AIO," and I agree. It's if you look at the device itself, it is like everything else that is popular right there out there. We put the 𝗁𝗄𝗎, the same reason for that, and the same thing for this as well too. It has a few unique features, but if you look at it, it's just another AIO as far as the device is concerned, because that's what's popular right now in the industry. But I want you to keep in mind of this, that the reason for releasing this device is not the device itself. It's the technology. This was just the carrier body for Innokin to release something that nobody else has done before, right? It's very rare that we have these steps when a new board comes out and a new technology to vape come out. This is simply the skin to carry this new technology out, and hopefully it'll be adapted, and you're going to see many more devices carrying this kit. But I want you to keep that in mind, because vapors mostly buy with their eye. They see something, oh, it's new, it's shiny, it's new, I'm going to buy it. In this case, you need to understand the technology that comes behind it if you're interested in this, because I'm going to be the first one to tell you, it's not going to be anything different visually when you look at it than any other IO that's out there. Am I right, Phil?
Right. No, absolutely. It's what's under the hood is the big thing here with this technology.
Fuck you, Bill. Bill said I should do the unboxing.
I think you should do the unboxing. I think it'd be funny.
Unboxing.
Don't forget, we have a coiling competition.
yeah. So take it away, buddy.
All right. So let's take a look at this. Let's go through. Let's see. I need to push. No, not that. No, hold on. I'm going to push the right one. There it is. I'm going to kind of do this upside down. I'm using a different camera here to do this close up. But this is the box. Once again, we see the Innokin environmentally friendly packaging. So there's nothing plastic going on here. This is going to be. I'm actually excited to open this one up because I haven't opened it. I've been using that one right there. That's the carbon version.
Yes.
But this is going to be the blue leather version.
Yes.
So
I've been using the brown leather version.
Also, there's going to be a tank in here that I have zero experience with, and I'll explain.
I've been using it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'll explain to you why I have zero experience with it. So if we take a look in here, we see future, flavor, fight factor first, and then the question mark, right? And then we see the little, find F, the Facebook group. So there are several groups, and I believe I will be starting a group pretty soon in the ECF. So here's the find F device, or the Census device. So Census is the name of the device. Find F is the kind of the promotion that's going along with this, yes. And kind of with the technology that they're going to talk about. So it's going to have a USB-C. This does use USB-C charging. We're going to have a spare mouthpiece, the 510 adapter, and the coiling base. Oh, let's open it all up. Why not?
Go for it, buddy.
Why not? Okay, so we get some spare O-rings. Do we know what this is? I don't even know what this is yet. I haven't used that right there. Some kind of an adapter, I guess, right? Coil base, maybe? Oh, yeah, this is the coil base for the tank.
That is to screw in your little.
Yep. Okay.
This is compatible with scepter coils. This thing.
We are going to get a spare scepter coil in here as well. So this is going to use scepter coils, right?
Right. So it's going to use one for restricted direct lung, the 0.3, and then the 0.65, which is the mouth to lung.
Yeah, and I apologize if this isn't focusing as fast as I would like it to.
You're just moving so fast. It's just lightning. You can't keep up with you.
But there's the other device, and I think they finally did a good job with the leather here.
Yes.
And I mean, I like the surround. I like how the leather kind of goes into the surround. It's got a nice cushy feel to it. And it's got this is actually the logo of the technology. Do you remember the actual name of the technology?
No.
I'm sure I'll try to look it up as we talk more about this. But we do see everything is totally reversed for me right now. But we see Census right down there. On the other side, we're going to see Innokin. You can see that this is actually an earlier version because on mine, we see Innokin on that side, but we see Find F on that side, right? And it does. This actually says Find F0. So if I do fire this up, let me pull the protective cover off of this. Let's see. Does it have a protector? Yeah. Okay. So it does have a protector, so I won't burn up a coil. But if I click this, it's got the down button and the up button down here. But if I click and hold, we'll go into the menu, and we'll see a couple things that we're not used to seeing. Mostly that coil plus right there, and the refresh, and then there's the lock, right? And that lock is going to allow you to enter a code to unlock one of the features of the device. So you kind of can access two of the features that we have not seen before, but you cannot activate that last feature, which is the F0 feature, right?
Yeah, and again, the thinking behind this is because it is a little bit more advanced. That menu feature is a little bit more advanced for the user. I think the thinking behind this was like, let's put the coil plus and the refresh out there. Let people get used to it. And then when you vape on it, after 6,000 puffs, it will unlock it by itself. If you haven't found the code up to then, you can play around and try to find the code, go to the Facebook group and interact with other users. But because it's so advanced, I think this is their way of saying, okay, let's just put this technology out there and slowly break it in instead of just putting everything out there and confusing everybody.
Yeah. So in power, we can adjust in wattage or voltage. If I do go to wattage and I go ahead and it's the usual click and hold system that Innokin does. And I believe we do have round robining. So I'm going to go all the way down to the 6 watts. And if I click again, it goes up to the highest wattage, which is going to be 40 watts on this device. If I go ahead and click here and I go into Coil Plus is basically going to look really similar to just standard power, right? You are going to see, again, I apologize for the focus. I don't think I'll use this camera again for close-ups.
Yeah, so you should put that camera in and throw it away.
Yeah. But in Coil Plus, you still adjust in either wattage or voltage, but there's something going on behind the scenes in Coil Plus, and we can talk a little bit about that. And then there's refresh here, and if I go to refresh, there's a standard refresh and an extended refresh, and that just runs a cycle. I'm not going to be able to run that cycle now because I don't have a connection up here, so it's not going to be able to run the cycle. The pod, I guess you can call this a pod, although it really kind of is a tank. It is glass.
It's glass. I mean, I really like that. I really like the way that the tank was done.
It is.
You know, I'm not a big fan of bottom filling, but I understand why. There's really no way to do it on top.
Right. So that's the little piece here that does hold the coil. I don't know. I guess you just pull it right out.
Pull it out. Yeah,
you do. It's on the floor right now. I'll grab that. Here we go. So you can see
opportunity to see your sexy jeans.
You can see the scepter coil just kind of screwed into that.
Yeah, and it comes pre-installed with a 0.3 ohm coil for a restricted direct line.
Yep, and there is a little plug, so this does have plug filling. No airflow controller on this, right, Dave?
On the outside.
There is airflow controller?
On the device.
Oh yeah, the airflow controller is here. Right.
Yeah, just like the chromosome.
So that's pretty much it. So let's talk about what we can talk about with the technology.
Yeah, and keep in mind that Minfield, I mean, obviously have known about this for a very, very long time. Very tight-lipped and very, very, very under the. I mean, for months, very, very, very under the radar on this particular one, and rightfully so. I've been using it in two ways. I've got my Źli tank with my 0.8 ohm coil and the 510 adapter on it here, and then I have it in MTL mode with the actual scepter coil in the glass tank on top, both in MTL mode. I think when people ask me about this technology, like what would be the advantage to this, I would have to answer right off the bat that the goal of this is to extend the life of your coils, right?
Yeah.
Extend the life of your coils.
I would say that, and I would say improve flavor in the process of extending the life of the coil.
Which makes sense, because if your coil does extend life, that means that your flavor is going to last longer compared to liquids that may cause your coil within a couple of days to start tasting bad. And you vape through it until it gets to the point where it's unvapeable anymore. But if you can extend that coil life through the features that this device does, obviously you're going to get more flavor.
Yeah. And so I've actually known about this technology for a while now. I know exactly what it's doing. I know exactly how it's doing it. But I'm limited right now, unfortunately, because I could start pulling out charts and graphs and reads from the oscilloscope, and I could show you exactly what it's doing.
On the next show. I think
maybe on the next show.
Yeah.
And I might be putting out a full review on this basically as soon as they approve that I could do it. But this is an MVP5, okay? And this MVP5 actually has the Census technology. So I've been using this for a long time, right? And gaining experience. So they've refined it a lot more to the point. Are we still live on YouTube? It looks like it's buffering.
I don't know.
Viewers are experiencing buffering error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I apologize if you guys are getting buffering.
It looks like it's going, so
okay.
I won't worry about it.
So yeah, they've definitely refined it and they've kind of simplified it, because this was definitely like a test platform. So it's been refined here. So it's so hard to tell, to explain what it's doing without explaining how it's doing it. I can tell you that the science is interesting, the science is sound, and I can give you my experience with it. And still live, everybody's still live. Okay, good, thanks. Larry, we just did a live on the platform group, and I did something really interesting with him. I should have done it on camera. I don't know why I didn't. But I just reviewed another product. I'm not going to say what product it is, but I just reviewed another product, and I had a flavor, the watermelon peach, the #1 best-selling flavor in the unsalted line, in that tank, and I had it in this tank. And I said, Larry, try these two side by side. Tell me what you think. He says, okay, and he's trying them side by side. He goes, I like the flavor in this one, the Census, right? He goes, it tastes crisper. He says crisper. I said, okay, that's interesting. And he says, why is that interesting? I said, because the one that you didn't like, that coil basically just came out of the pack, and that's that tank's first fill. Okay? This coil has 54 mils through it right now.
It's just unbelievable.
And okay. Look, we got to do a lot more testing. This is, I think, early days for this technology, and I think it's going to be fun because we're going to be discovering things together with this technology. And again, hard to explain why, but trust me on this one, okay? But I don't think I've ever experienced 54 mils through a coil. But 54 mils, and it's still
a commercial coil, okay? Not a hand-built coil. This is coil.
This is a Z coil.
A replaceable coil.
It's a 0.8 Z coil, right? And still good flavor. Because I'm like, after a while, you get a coil, it's just like the flavor kind of diminishes, or it's just dirty, or it's like burnt. This is still reasonably clean, you know, surprisingly clean. And I haven't been using Coil Plus. I have been using Refresh, but I have been using the unlocked feature.
Yes.
All right. And I actually have a couple of requests into Innokin to put a couple more features in there that I think would benefit the technology as well. But like that's really like I'm not sure how much more that we can say at this point. It's
no,
tough.
I think that people should not don't get. I see the same questions. Does it have a replaceable battery? Does it have this? It's not about the device so much. The device works fine.
It's a platform.
510 adapter could have been done a little bit better, and I think that we all can agree on that. But it does work. I mean, I have my tank on there, and it does work fine. In my experience, the Sublime that I vape that has eucalyptus in it is a coil killer, right? We know this. I've been using it for 8 years now. On a Z coil, I can get 2-3 days max out of a coil before it starts to taste bad. And this device has definitely extended the life of that coil by a couple of days. And the same thing now. This is my third test through this 0.8 ohm coil. And the coils, I've used it since I got out of the hospital. So it's been 8-9 days now, and it's holding up good. And the Scepter 0.65 coil, here I have PB tiers. And this, again, I have not changed coil on either one of them. This is the only two devices that I vape bedside currently. And I've been happy with the performance of it. I think that people need to look at this, and once we're able to tell you a little bit more about exactly what it does, because I've seen the charts, Phil has put this through its paces, we've seen visually what the device is doing, but it is something that hasn't been done before, and it's how are you able to make to have features on your device that are specifically geared towards keeping your coil refreshed. Right? That's what it boils down to. You get good flavor if your coil remains as clean as possible while through using it. That extends the life of the coil and extends the pleasure of vaping. And since this is the first device, like I said earlier, keep in mind there'll be other devices and there'll be other ways to be able to use this technology. This is just simply the vehicle that, since the popularity of these AIOs, Innokin decided to launch this new technology with it.
Yeah, I'll answer the one question that I got the most on the live that we did the other day. Does it work with a standard coil? Like, so if I take this out and I put a Zenith on there or a Zylight, will it still work? Will it work with your standard coils? Is there anything special going on with this coil? Is there anything special going on with the coil I'm using? No. Okay, so the technology is supposed to work with anything that you screw onto it, right? And so like, are you going to get like I think I'm on like week 3 with this coil now, like 2 or 3. All right, are you going to get that? Are you going to get the 1 or 2 days extra that Dimitri's getting? Are you going to get even more? Are you going to get even less? And I think that's what we're going to start to discover together with the technology as we play with it and make adjustments and fine tune it. But I can tell you that there are 2 distinct ways that it's doing what it's doing, right? And again, they're hard for me to say what those 2 distinct things are. I think
in the hidden menu, it gives you the opportunity to make adjustments yourself as a user, right? Where in Coil Plus, you just kind of set it and it does its thing. But when you get into the secret menu, it gives you the opportunity to fine tune and play around with a lot of things that will be dependent on the resistance of your coil, if it's MTL or RDL. There's a lot of different things that you can do in there to play around with it and see what you get out of it. Especially in the time where we're talking about not being able to be shipped stuff to you. Extending the life of your products is even a little bit more crucial. Are you going to pick up this device and say, "Wow, this is the best thing I've ever vaped"? No, I'm just going to tell you right now. You're not. But what you're going to find is that it does have these features that hopefully in the future will be implemented in an automatic way, right? Yeah. Once we start playing around with these different features and the settings that we can, it'll be easier then to, come up with a range for specific coils of what you can adjust to extend that life and get better flavor out of your products as well too. So I think that being fair and balanced, like me and Phil has always been, I will tell you, will you pick this up and say, "Whoa"? No. But you will find after using it for a while that there is something there, and it's something that has not been done before. Yeah. That's the important part about new technology.
Yeah. And what I love about this too is it's the technology in its baby form, right? It's like it's so young, and my mind as an engineer, I'm already like, to Innokin, we should do this. We could do this.
Yeah.
Oh, we should be able to adjust this and play with this, right? And just like thinking like really where we can take it. And there's a lot of places that it can be taken to, right?
Janine says, does one have to find F to access the refresh? No. Refresh and Coil Plus are already there, but you have to have the code to get into the F menu, or after 6,000 puffs, the device will automatically unlock that feature for you.
Yeah. I'm actually really surprised that nobody's... because anybody can really test it and show what it's doing. I'm surprised nobody's really done that yet. Well, who would besides me and Danielle? Or Daniel?
Right. Janine says, Dimi, my friend's picking up her filter tomorrow. We'll sit on my patio in our down-filled coats while I show her how to use it. We'll update you. I hope it works for her, Janine, and I hope she's as sweet as you, because everybody deserves to quit smoking.
So I can tell you what I want right now, D. I want this technology and the really, really nice padded leather in a replaceable battery.
Sure.
For the 𝗂𝗄𝗎.
Yes, that would be nice. We've got a couple of replacement battery devices coming out in 2021. Everything kind of fell back because this technology was ready to launch. So, and that's just how China is. But there's a lot of good stuff coming. Stay tuned. It's just there's a lot of good stuff coming. I don't know how we're gonna be able to ship it. We might have to hand deliver it to you, but there's a lot of good stuff coming.
That'd be fun. That'd be a bonus. Like people, you get a device hand delivered by us. Why not?
Me and Phil had thought about last year renting an RV and doing a vape tour around the United States. That'd be a lot of fun. Then we can go to some remote areas and have like a trunk full of Innokin devices. And
yeah, you know how they do the food trucks?
Yeah,
like have a vape truck.
Yeah, and then be on social media like, hey, the vape truck will be at the corner of 29th and Broad.
It's not shipping.
It's not shipping, no.
Right? There you go.
And we're not selling any nicotine, so you're gonna have to fend for your own for liquid, unless you get the #1 best-selling unsalted line.
The #1 best-selling flavor in the unsalted line. Yeah, we're working on that.
Sir Yorgos has made this comment 3 or 4 times. Apparently he loves this comment and he wants me to read it. So I will.
Go ahead.
That green tape on D's nose makes him look like he's one of the Borg kids rescued by 7 of 9. This tape here on my nose is the only small Band-Aid that I had in my house to cover up my scar there.
Because it hasn't been covered up. It doesn't look bad.
That's actually a Band-Aid, but it has like a little design on it.
Is it like a SpongeBob SquarePants Band-Aid?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
But that's the only one that I had that was small enough to cover up, and it, that's why I'm using it. So.
All right, let's see. What time is it? Well, we're getting to the end. I'm actually surprised that you made it for the whole show. I really didn't think we were going to do a 2-hour show tonight. I figured we'd just rip through something. Are you feeling okay? You all right?
Yeah, I'm a little bit tired, but
you're a little bit tired. Okay. Somebody said you sound like you're drugged tonight. You're a little bit more laid back than you typically are. Are you on painkillers?
No, I stopped the second day I was here at home. I don't take.
You got any left that you got any left that you can send me? I think you can still ship those, right? You can still ship those.
I'm gonna keep them to sell them to pay for my GoFundMe. But no, I don't like taking painkillers and stuff.
I know.
So the second day that I was here at home and I was okay. I stopped. Take a few Tylenol at night before I go to bed. That's it. My hardest part is sleeping. That's what is hard for me because I can't sleep on my back.
Oh, really? You're side or belly?
Yeah, I'm side.
Side.
Either side. So I can turn to my right. I put my hand underneath this special pillow that I have, and but I can't sleep on one side the whole night because I move right? So after about an hour, hour and a half, everything kind of stiffens up and I get cold and I wake up but on my left, there's no way I can get on my left side with this on and get comfortable enough to sleep. So sleep has been a pain in the ass.
Have you tried to pleasure yourself with that glove on at all? Does that feel like a whole new?
I can't reach down there.
That
I
sucks,
can't extend down there. I can't do anything.
You really can't get down there. Oh yeah. Okay. So
and I still get a little bit I get dizzy, my blood pressure drops if I get up quickly, or if I put my head down. I still haven't gotten over that. But if I'm sitting or I'm laying down, I'm okay. I get up every 2-3 hours. I would do my walking. I want to make sure my circulation is going okay. So I'm okay with that stuff, but I'm okay.
Okay. If any of you guys have any questions that we can answer on the census or anything else before we wrap this up tonight, go ahead and put that in the chat. Does Bill have anything for us?
Ryan Gitley says, Phil, you need to tell Innokin to make the Zenith tank child resistance for the Canada market. Ryan, I don't know how I've missed all this, but the Zenith 2 is CRC and it actually has approval for sale in Canada. It's coming. First, we released the 𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗹 that's CRC. It's been approved for Canada. Did the Dash Vapes put up the video?
I don't know if they put up the video yet. I would hope they put it up where?
Dash Vapes?
Put it up where?
Hey, no, I'm just saying if you look on Dash Vapes, if they've put the video. Anyway, on dashvapes.com, there might be a video on there that we talk about the CRC 𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗹 and the CRC Zenith.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So the answer is yes.
Does the last word start with F? Yes. Yes, I can tell you that it's yes. The F, that's what find F means. So you have to find what that word is.
Does the last word start? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm telling you that there is something there, especially for liquids that really eat up coils, right? And there's a lot of liquids on the market that do that these days. There's no way that I could use the same coil as Phil is using, and Phil gets 5 days and I get 2 days out of it. It's the liquid, right? I mean, that's what it boils down to. It's the liquid or user error. Usually that's the two things that ruin coils. So this technology and the way that it operates, there is definitely something there. And the good thing about this is that they released the 510 adapter with it. You don't have to get it extra. It comes inside of the box. So you can use whatever tank that you want with.
Yeah, so Sally says she's surprised that the Census uses the scepter coils. Well, in reality, it uses any coil you want if you use the 510 adapter, right? But yeah, inherently with the tank that it comes with.
Keep in mind, in order to make a small tank like this, and Phil showed it in the up close, there's really not many choices that you have as far as coils are concerned, right? There's no way we can put a Z coil in a tank this small. Right, the tank is small, it's glass, it's done very, very well. So that's the reason why they decided to use the scepter coil. And look, there's a lot of people that enjoy the scepter coils. The 0.65 for me is a great MTO coil. It really is. Is it as good as the Z coil? I think it's on par, but obviously, I'm partial to the Z coil, but it just simply wouldn't be able. But again, it doesn't make any difference. It's not about the device here. It's about the board. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be Z coil products that are going to come out and Z coil kits that are going to feature this technology as well too. Trust me. So it's this is just a vehicle that Innokin decided to launch this technology with it. Thomas Kirsop says, I saw the notifications from the wholesalers for the Zenith 2 and the 𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗹. Yes, absolutely. We are on top of it in Canada, trust me. What's the ETA for Zenith 2 and 𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗹 CRC for Dash Vapes? I do not know. They should be on their way after Chinese New Year. Keep in mind, everything is shut down in China right now. So in a couple weeks when things are open up, I'm assuming everything is going to start shipping. Craig, you're on the right track, buddy. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I've seen some people get it. I've seen some people. I think actually the code might even have been broken out there.
Hey, Apathy, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, I mean, so the prototype models, obviously we had the code, and then the ones that came out for the retail, the code will be available. I think the 20th, they're going to start doing something with the code. So after the 20th of this month, if you bought the device and you haven't figured out the code yet, I think that Innokin is going to assist you in getting that code.
But
is there a new, healthier consensus way of vaping? Is that I'm using 𝗱𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗀. You got the best, Gainey. You got the best. You ain't got to worry about it. Absolutely nothing wrong about that setup there at all. Fastec is closing to tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, some factories, most of the factories in China, they close the week before and then they stay closed the week after Chinese New Year. They take 2-week vacation. So even though Fastec is going to open, they're not going to start shipping immediately. Well, I mean, Fastec never ships immediately anyway. But when the factory workers come back, then it takes about a week for the production to get back in line and they start actually producing product and then shipping. That's why I'm saying by the end of the month, anticipate products to leave from China and start going to the wholesale distributors.
Craig,
Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Craig, you're very close, but a little bit wrong.
Yeah. Can you show the 510 feel?
I just did. I did the whole thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying. I was looking at the chat.
Yeah, I was just showing it. You want to see it again?
Benjai says, does it have replay mode then? No. I mean, that's a DNA board. Why would we put replay in the... No, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I hate using this camera.
Yeah,
Because usually I have an overhead camera.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you, honey. I appreciate all the messages too.
Okay.
Thank you, Guinea. I appreciate it. And really, man, listen. We talked about this in the Smoker Show, whatever. If you found your setup and it works for you and it keeps you off cigarettes, if that's a 𝗱𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏, that's all you need. You don't all this fancy shit we're showing you because that's our industry now. This is our business. Obviously, we come out with new product, we come with new technology, we want to share it for the people. But honestly, if you're happy with what you're using, you don't need to buy shit. I mean, get your spool of 𝗏𝗏, you got a 𝗱𝗏, you got a bunch of cotton, you're good. You know?
But you know, I mean, that's what it's become. It's become like, oh, I got to have, you know, well, for a lot of people, it's like, yeah, I got to have the new thing. I got to have the new thing, right? Whereas, to be honest with you, like if I could have any one device right now, I think it would be the 𝗁𝗄𝗃 with a 510 adapter.
Yes.
That's what I really like right now.
Yes.
Right?
It's so lightweight, man.
Yeah.
That's the best feeling of the 𝗁𝗄𝗃.
And really, one of the main reasons why I'm using this is because I'm evaluating the technology.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Thank you, Ed, for the 5 bomb for some Mr. Crab Band-Aids. Feel better. Send out pain pill box to P.O. Box 777. Absolutely, buddy. I take care of you. So I'm going to auction off my pain pills. That's what I should do.
Well, send a couple to me, man.
You can have them all, buddy. I don't care.
Delta
the
P
510 adapter is nice and tight like the 𝗁𝗄𝗃. It's different, Sally, because it's round. It's not the same. No. The 𝗁𝗄𝗃 510 adapter, in my opinion, is better.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I mean, to be honest, I think the 510 adapter could be done better, and yes. A lot of people are saying the same thing. So.
Yes. Benjay, yeah, I'm not saying that he wouldn't, but I'm just saying it's just different technology. Speaking of Brandon, me and Phil got a text the other day, so I just figured we'd update you. They decided to lower the price of the DNA Reflex. So now the DNA Reflex is $49.99 on the website, and so if price was a prohibitor for you to try out the Reflex technology, that's available now.
There it is, right there. Yeah, well, I think in that mail that we got, I think there was something like "we were right." I think that he said that. Didn't he say that?
How many times have I told you so? But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Does the 𝗁𝗄𝗃 with 510 adapter change the voltage output? No, it's a regulated device, no problem whatsoever.
What about the people who paid full price for it? Because really,
shit out of luck.
I guess so, huh?
Shit out of luck. Look, new technology is fun. It's great. I mean, obviously for us that are like really, into shit like this, and a lot of vapors as well too. I think that there's a lot of vapors that depend on new product because that's what keeps them off cigarette. They love exploring and buying new devices. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
That side either. for me, it's always been about what technology can we use to make the experience of the user better, right? I think that's the real technology. You know, when we can vaporize without using cotton, that will be groundbreaking, right? That's going to be the next level to make the experience of the user better. I think this technology makes the experience of the user better. And that's exciting because that only happens 3, 4 times, 5 times, maybe in a decade when it comes to technology, when it comes to vaping.
And I think the technology has the potential to save the user money too, right? So let's say you even get just a day longer out of your coil using the technology, just a day, right?
Yeah.
Well, add that up, right?
Yeah.
And then it becomes a cost savings.
Absolutely, especially with people that just don't like to build. You know, they like pre-made coils, and if you can extend 2 days your coil, I mean, it adds up. It adds up over a period of a year. You'll see how much money you're going to save.
First of all, I just want to say hello to Jennifer, and I love her very much, and I'm so happy that she loves
you and Jennifer have a thing going on.
I want to, and I like that she likes the Aries too. But I mean, if you're gonna like the Aries too, can you at least spell it right? It's just a suggestion.
Don't like her that much.
She knows I love her.
I think a lot of people like new stuff, Jennifer. Yeah, you can answer questions. Yes, absolutely. It's good to keep up with the technology. I'm just saying it's not necessary. If you have found your zen when it comes to vaping, all these shows are just for fun and keeping you busy, you know, during this COVID lockdown.
Yeah. But I mean, it's interesting what you said because it's true. Like, what keeps a person from going back to cigarettes? Is it using a different flavor? Is it buying a new device? Is it trying a different tank? Is it, you know, a different kind of experience? You know, or is it? Are they just looking for that, like, that perfect thing that, you know, maybe they haven't found it yet? So really, hey, look, you know, if what you're using is making you happy and you're not smoking, you really don't need to go to something else. But if going to that something else is going to prevent you from buying that pack of cigarettes, then do that.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Right? Do that if that's what it's going to take.
I think for the people that are really gadgety, what they're going to find out is because you can make those adjustments in the Find F menu, is they're going to start playing around and making comparisons. And this is what I would like for you to do if you're going to buy this technology is you build your own coils. Okay, well, you know then, because you built your own coils, what expected life you can get out of that coil. Go into Find F, play around with the settings and see, you know, how much you can extend it, right? That's the kind of stuff I think that gadgety vapors that are always looking for the newest and the greatest really like to play around with. And you're going to see that you're going to find something there.
Yeah, and that's where I think like the Facebook groups and the forums are going to be fun for Find F, because it's going to be like, hey, you know, I'm using this and this is what I'm doing, right? And this is what I'm experiencing. You know, it's going to be that kind of like a little community, you know, back and forth sharing of data. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the older days, even just a few years ago, there was, and it's still prevalent, not as much as it used to be, but it still is now. If you go to Facebook groups, especially the Greek Facebook groups, I left them all. I couldn't take it anymore. But there's people out there that are literally paid to make hand checks. So if you're a vapor and you're in that group and somebody posts, you know, oh, look what I got today and I got a new device, you automatically you want it. You know, as you know what I'm saying? It's subliminal. It's just a way of getting you to buy something new. So when you see that hand check, you're like, oh man, that looks good. I want to get it as well too. There's a lot of that going on as well too. It used to be even worse a couple of years ago when this was very prevalent in the Facebook group. Something new came out, hand checks all over the place, and then it kind of drove you to buy it. I mean, it happens to me with other items as well too, whether it be audio, video equipment, or stuff for the motorcycle and stuff like that. And I see somebody else that had it, I'll be like, you know, I want to get it as well too. You know, when I got those stunt bars from Russia, I just saw a picture on Instagram. Somebody said, "Oh, check these out," and I was like, "Oh, fuck!" Like within 3 minutes, I had them ordered from Russia, you know, to come in. And that's just the consumerism, you know.
D, I didn't tell you, I bought the that wireless mic system for whenever we go back on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Well, I got the 360 cam. If I'm going to take flying lessons, Bill was making me this electronic music for my videos because I don't want to use copyright music for my motorcycle. And he did a really good job. He had some really good pieces. So if I'm going to start taking flying lessons, I'm going to use the 360 camera.
So I mean, you're going from the motorcycle to flying lessons. Can you find like something? Maybe you should get into golf carts.
You know what my wife said? My wife said it's easy. Why don't you just find a girlfriend? That's what she told me. It's cheaper. It's safer.
Yeah, really. Seriously.
I said, hold on a second. Let me get that on tape first of all. I want to have it just in case. You're
talking about your pilot's license. I mean, like, why not take up like paragliding and fucking what do you call parachuting too while you're at it? Isn't there something safe that you can do?
I like it though. It keeps me. I like that thrill, man. It's just that, so. I don't want to just lay down and just be like, oh, I'm a 50-year-old, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just not me.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying it's just not me. That's just not. I can't live like that. I want to have excitement, and I want to have and a little bit of danger is exciting. I mean, I don't know. Look, I wasn't driving the motorcycle for the excitement. I was driving the motorcycle because it was a stress relief, and I love the acceleration, and I loved fixing it up, and I loved looking at it, take a picture. I mean, the bike looked so fucking sexy, and I mean, that was just part of it, and. Flying lessons actually might be good for us because we might be able to fly and not have to deal with TSA. Listen to that.
Yeah, but don't we need like a plane?
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Okay,
we'll sell a bunch of zine.
Do me a favor, everybody, buy more Zeniths and slides so we can.
I'll start a GoFundMe for a plane about that. That way we can fly around the country. But
oh my! Could you imagine if we had a plane? Could you imagine the shit that they would talk about us if we had our own plane? Oh my God!
Marshall said 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹 already took his first flying lesson. Ha ha! I see what you did there.
Yeah, can I share what I put on your address label?
You can share whatever you want to. Absolutely.
Okay. So Marshall on the address label that I sent, the shirts and his bidet and everything, it was 𝗵𝗵𝗏, 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹 𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗃, and it was the motorcycle flight division, right?
Yeah. Girlfriend serve a vital purpose. I have needs. I agree with you, sir. Sounds like a midlife crisis. Yeah, Rob, but listen, this is the difference between me and any other douchebag out there. I admit it. I said it multiple times here on the show that, yeah, it's a midlife crisis. At least I acknowledge it and I admit it. I'm not too proud to say what I'm going through. Absolutely. Is that bad? It's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
Buy a boat. Boats are like...
Careful now.
Phil has to drop so much money on that boat every fucking month. It breaks down and it's got warranty. You got to clean it. It's just too much. That's too much work. If I bought a boat, I'd have to buy somebody to come along with it so he can take care of it.
It's no lie. Even when it just sits there, it's costing. It's like I can hear it costing me money right now. John had a really good idea. If we get that plane, right, what we could do is we could tie little parachutes to Chroma Z's and we could like launch them out and they like land on people. It's a good idea.
When will Dimmy be doing his Snake River Canyon jump that Evil Knievel couldn't do? Man, don't tempt me. Pickle Lecter. SU Orange. I couldn't wait to get my EQ filter, and 2 days later the fill port gasket came off and went inside the pod. Support at Innokin.com, buddy. They got 60 days warranty or 90 days now. Register the product, right, Phil? 90 days?
Yeah, if you have to register first, though. If you register, you get the extended warranty. Craig, if I take a corner tight enough and fast enough with my golf cart, because it's lifted, I'll go down. I'll go over. It's very dangerous.
Support at Innokin.com. Just send him a picture of it, and hopefully they take care of it. Yeah, I don't like those little fill ports on the side. It's always been a pain in the ass. But keep in mind that the EQ filter came out at $20. I mean, you can't buy shit for $20 these days. You know what I'm saying? So they have to cut corners somewhere to make it economical.
But you know what? But I hear you because in the 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗃 video that I did, I made that comment, right? And it was about, I think I lumped together the EQ filter, the 𝗵𝗵𝗶, and the reflex, right? And what I said is when you have devices like this that are geared specifically to smokers, right? Because they are. These are definitely smoker devices. We got to get away from that goddamn small, tiny little fucking fill port on the side of these. We got to.
Yes.
There's better stuff that can be done. There's easier stuff that can be done, because when you think about the demographic that these things are designed for, we got to get away from that little fucking fill port. Got to. It doesn't. It makes sense on a lot of stuff. The Chroma Z, it makes sense on, right? Because yeah, sure, we want beginners to use it, but is it really a beginner's device? Maybe, maybe not, right? But it's bigger. It's right on the side. You don't have to take it off first. Okay. But when you've got something like, you know, that filter, that Kiwi, that reflex, that is, it's for a smoker, we have to have easier fill methods. Have to.
Yes. And be price effective as well too, because the Kiwi is $70. I mean, it's just too much money.
Yeah,
we were talking about the reflex being, and we said it when we presented the reflex, that the price was prohibitive, but $70 is still too much money. It's too much money. Yeah. So, you know, you have to balance out, you know, how much money somebody's going to spend to try vaping, give them a good experience. Yeah, it might have a little bit of fiddling, but at least try to get something at an expensive price to try vaping.
I personally think the EQ filter is the perfect product for pre-filled cardos.
Yeah.
Right? You get
I agree.
You get a pre-filled, you get a fresh filter.
Yes.
You know, that's the way to do that device.
I thought about that the other night when I was talking about the project I'm doing in Greece. I actually thought about that.
That's the one to do that with, without a doubt. Like I even told George that one. That's the device to do it with. You want to do that?
To hold a jug for Dimmy while he took a leak. No, unfortunately, he got lucky. He wasn't here, but he would.
I would have.
He would have.
So the plan was, right? I was going to show up at your house. Here's how I was going to look, right? Because I already went online to look for a hazmat suit. I guess with COVID, you can't. It's very difficult to get them, right?
Yeah.
So I was going to show up at the house with, you know, like those bathroom gloves, like when you clean the toilet. It's like that yellow glove that goes all the way down here, right? So I was going to have 2 of those. I was going to have a mask, like a diving mask with a snorkel, right? This way, like if I'm breathing with my mouth, I don't have to smell anything, right?
Yeah.
I was going to have one of those bathtub brushes with the really firm bristles, and I was going to have a power washer, and that's how I was going to show up at your front door. No lie to you. I mean, you know me. That's the way it was going to be.
Yeah.
But I couldn't make that happen, which is too bad.
Yeah, and listen, when I see a lot of comments on the motorcycles, I'm not afraid of motorcycles because I've had twice. I've had another accident 2 times with a motorcycle. They were minor. Both times it was the other person's fault, but I've never crashed this bad with it. But it doesn't deter me from me personally as Dimitri riding a motorcycle again. My concern is when I saw my kids. You know, when I FaceTime my kids and saw the fear that they had in their face that something happened to their daddy. That was, and I know that every time I get on that bike that they're concerned and all that. That's the most heartbreaking. It's not me personally. Phil will tell you I have zero fear. I will jump in there and I will attempt anything once or even twice. But it's just it was just mostly my kids and my wife. You know how concerned they were, and you know that's a tough pill to swallow, man. You know.
Question.
Yeah.
Are you going to upgrade that Yaris now? Maybe something a little beefier, you think?
I don't know. The Yaris is good, man. It's a good car.
Yeah, okay.
If I ever go to Greece,
it's like a motorcycle with tinfoil wrapped around.
I was thinking, I was really thinking about this the other day when I said, well, maybe I should go back and finish my, because I did take flying lessons before I got married.
Yeah.
And I had 44 hours logged. Out of those 44 hours, I had 22 hours solo. So I mean, I've flown a plane, but I was thinking, I got on my I have this app on my phone which gives me distances. You know, like it would take me from here to come to Cape Coral about 2 hours and 45 minutes with a Cessna 172, right? A small plane. That's not bad. I could come down, we can have dinner, and I can come back.
I tell you what, that would be awesome. I mean,
Wouldn't that be cool?
That absolutely would be awesome. Yeah. All right, so go get your pilot's license. I agree. Go get that.
Would you get on the plane with me after I got
Fuck
colonized?
no. You know, I was thinking too. This is gonna be a little bit frustrating to me for a little while, right?
Yeah.
You know what? It's a really good thing that we're not traveling for vaping right now.
Yeah.
Okay, because for years I had to deal with, oh my God, Dimitri, you look so good. Look at how much weight you lost. You look so fantastic. It's so now it's going to be like, oh my God, Dimitri, I'm so glad you're okay. Look, you're recovering so well and everything. I'm like, you know, figures.
That would have been tough to travel right now, especially like this. Can you imagine going to a vape event like this? It's like here comes a robot man. What does it cost to rent a plane for a trip like that? I mean, I remember the way that I was renting the plane at the time. I would put $500 block down for a flight to Cape Coral with gas. It probably cost me a couple $100 for the 172. Probably 125 for the plane and probably about $75 in gas, maybe a little bit more.
Are you shitting me? To rent the plane?
For a day. I mean, that's going and coming back. If it extra day is gonna be more money.
What about like
You know what I would do?
parking fees at the
Yeah,
airport?
Small airports don't have it.
Huh? Because we do have
need a bigger plane than a 172 to take Papa Smurf with you. It's a 4-person plane. Not true for a 4-person. It's really a 2-person plane in a bag. But yeah, I agree.
we do have a small airport here outside of the two big ones. We have a small.
There's no charge when you go to a small airport. Only the big airports charge. Yeah, the small airports actually are very. They cater to a lot of the private pilots. So they actually have cars sometimes on site that you can get and go. And what I would do is if I go through with this, is I would buy a timeshare. So I would buy like 25% in the plane. Probably maybe a 182, a little bit bigger than the 172 that they usually do training. Something that I could actually get 4 people inside. So that's probably what I would do. Buying 25% or a percentage in a plane, you save a lot of money through the year, and then you have, you split it among 3-4 people on when to fly and stuff like that.
You know what they do here, and it's
for the 5-bomb, Jack. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Jack. You like a little bit more next time if we're going to get that plane, please. What they do here, it's pretty much every day when the weather is good and it's not windy.
Yeah.
They have those paragliders that they like strap a propeller to their back, right?
Yes.
And they're in this little. Yeah, they're in this little I don't know what the hell they call it.
Yeah.
And they run with this they become like human kites. Human kites.
I don't like that. That doesn't excite me at all.
Oh man, they're like they go really low, like right by the canal, right over here. They come way down and then they go up. And
if I would do it, I would like to get some value out of it. Be like being able to come down to Cape Coral on a flight, stuff like that. You wouldn't be able to do that with that little plane. It would take you forever. You have to stop every hour to get gas. It takes probably longer. It would be easier to drive than it is to fly down. Jennifer has my energy. I'm okay. I'm holding up. Okay. I'm all right. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be fine. I appreciate it. All right, let's wrap it up.
Okay, that's it. Well, I had hot air balloon. Hey, how about that? I think a hot air balloon. How long would it take that? Like a week later, Dimitri shows up.
Too long.
All right. I guess that's it. I guess that's all we have to say. I am thrilled to have you back and talking to me again here. I got a bunch of stuff to do. I think I'm going to do the liquid review. I'm going back on the golf cart tomorrow, guys. We'll do another liquid review, and then I got to work on the Census video, and we got to figure out what we're going to do for the smoker show next Tuesday. Any ideas? Anybody?
No, I have no ideas.
Anybody?
No ideas whatsoever. We'll come up with something. We'll figure something out. Or we do another DP show. Who cares?
Yeah, okay. As long as we're talking.
Well, Dimmy by matching pink and blue wingsuits for him and Phil. Yeah. Can you imagine me and you in a wingsuit?
In the wingsuits? Yeah.
It looks so bad. For my part, once again, I want to appreciate everybody and thank you for your well wishes and your prayers and your thoughts or whatever you believe in. It's really made things recovering easier for me. I appreciate the laughs and the ball busting. It's all part of it. And, it could have been worse. So I'm glad to be around. And continue to do the silly thing. And apparently, according to the super chats, everything that we've done for vaping doesn't really care. As long as you have an accident, you get super chats. So starting from next week, every episode that we're going to have, somebody's going to have an accident before we have the episodes. Phil's going to cut his finger on.
Oh, you just wait till you see how I show up to the next show. We're going to get a lot of super chats.
All right, that's all I had to say. Thank you. I love everybody. Thanks a lot.
All right, you guys, thanks very much for watching, and we will see you again soon. Good night, brother.